We're live, baby.
We're here.
Why did you yell like that?
I don't know.
Hello, baby.
It's that time. Things just ain't the same for young Jermaine, still underrated, but far from underpaid. And though some problems did fade, the hunger stayed. These stomach rumbles could humble thunder. I'm still fueled by the ones that slumber, that stand out amongst the one-hit wonders. So when the dust settles and the sun is under the horizon, y'all should run the numbers. Who the want what with me? Heart is out, and I say that reluctantly, cause it should go without saying, but y'all playing dumb.
Welcome to Films in Black and White, everybody. How are you all feeling? It is a great Monday to be with you all. I'm going to make Marcus angry in the first minute. I also remembered I have not seen Creed 1 or 2. So just following up. Watched 3, did not see 1 or 2.
Wait,
but anyway,
you watched 3. You watched 3 for this podcast.
Correct. I watched 3 for this podcast. I know for those listening, you're like, holy shit, we're just getting into it. Yep. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Like we are right in it. And so
that's probably my favorite movie.
See, that's the thing. I was watching TikTok, and y'all know I have clips that just come up on TikTok, and there were clips on Creed 3, and I was like, oh yeah. I just started laughing, and Brittany and the kids were like, what is going on? And I was like, you wouldn't get it. And it was I realized in that moment that I had not seen Creed 1 or 2.
Incredible.
I gotta wonder why I do this podcast, because Doug has not seen
a lot of things.
A lot of things.
I don't know how I missed those 2. 3 was awesome. I loved 3.
1, I think they all get progressively better. That's the thing about the Creed series, but we'll talk about it later.
100%.
That's right. But yeah, we're going to get into some... We're going to rank some movie franchises, try to figure out which one sits at the tippy top, which will be fun. I'm going to talk a little bit about AMC's plans for the summer, how they're going to get people back in the theater. But in order to do it well, in order to do it right, in order to make sure we cover it all, we got to make sure everybody is thoroughly welcomed, brought into this space. So I'm going to kick it on over to Brian Roush, a.k.a. U.S. Agent Hater. How you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling great. Feeling great for a lot of reasons, but one of them is our socials this week. This is a great time to plug our socials. Make sure to follow us at Films in Black and White on TikTok, and we're also on YouTube, Instagram, as well as Facebook. Films in Black and White is our handle. And if you go check out our socials, you'll see that some people shared some opinions. We're also on Twitch at Films in Black and White as well. So, and again, you can join us live for recording our podcast Mondays, 8 p.m. Central. You can be part of the conversation. You can comment. We respond to comments in real time. You can ask one of our Patreon members, Roman here. We talk with him all the time. Mason, all of them. Artificer Chris shows up too. And yeah, all of our folks that show up in the comments. So make sure to do that. But yeah, our socials had some people who were like, hey, you're being a little hard on U.S. Agent. And fun fact, everybody, our video, including Doug talking about U.S. Agent's dumb beret, was some of the best performing videos of last week for our socials. Yeah, so feel free to head on over there, see what they're talking about. But people
get into a fight in the comments.
Yeah, they thought we hated on U.S. Agent a lot. Now, you know what? I'm here to say we did. So you can consider us an official U.S. Agent hating channel. So
it's a character that was made to be disliked.
Exactly.
So I'm not understanding why. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. I will redeem the MCU character by saying the character was created as an antithesis to Captain America. So he was already created to be not liked in comparison to what in like compared to his inspiration. So in that regard, they're doing a great job because he has a very hateable face.
Yes.
So he's our favorite jerk. He is our favorite jerk.
He's a lovable jerk. I'll even give him that. He's a jerk you love to hate. So there you go.
Yeah.
Brian, how was Maggie's Mother's Day?
She had a great Mother's Day. In fact, Parker, our second oldest here, he learned how to ride a bike on Mother's Day. So we were feeling the love.
Cute.
Yes.
Big
6 years old.
What a great memory.
tearing around the street on his bike, and we're already like, oh, he needs a new helmet now. Yes, Sixers. Yes, season 6. Parker is 6. Learned to ride a bike at 6. So
Dude.
Yeah, she had a great Mother's Day with that.
Too many sixes.
A lot of
well, we're gonna need at least one more or one less. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of people in hoods just showing up.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Well, I think they would have did that anyway, but maybe.
No, like demon worshippers, like black.
Got
hoods.
it.
Not
Got it.
No.
Yeah. We did get 6 rolls. There's your 4th 6 from Texas Roadhouse. So Maggie had a wonderful Mother's Day dinner from Texas Roadhouse. She loves Texas Roadhouse. Feel free to sponsor us, Texas Roadhouse. I said it 3 times. I don't know if it's like a Beetlejuice thing or what, but
those sponsor us, hooded men.
Oh no, not them. No, they're not allowed here.
Worshippers of Cthulhu. Hey, we'll take your money. We'll take your money.
But yes, it was a good Mother's Day. How about yourself, Doug? For you and Brittany.
Brittany we had a great Mother's Day. So let her sleep in. Then we took her to shout out to Haley Warren and the W Social House. They had a great Mother's Day grad event on Sunday morning. So it was like a brunch.
Nice.
And so we had brunch. We met up with some other families, and so it was just a cool family celebration. We got to kick it and chat, and so that was really great. And then we had Brittany loves tacos, so we made tacos for dinner, and just all in all, it was a good day. It was a good day. Shout out to moms.
Shout out to moms.
Hug your mother.
Yeah, please. Just or call her. If you're not close, then at least call her. I am not going to answer that question, Roman. I'm going to let Marcus answer that. But is
Mother's Day your favorite holiday, Marcus? Is the question in the chat.
It is a great holiday to celebrate my mother, Roman.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Ooh, well done.
I like that.
Way to wiggle out of that one.
Rise above.
They go low, we go high.
Sometimes we go straight for the nuts.
That's also accurate. But here's the other thing I want to say. It was a great, and my Chiron is Minnesota sports, baby.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug. Let's kick you off. Let's give it to you.
Here's what I want to say. Yeah, I want to shout out 3 teams. The Minnesota Timberwolves are playing great. Love the offense, defense. Winning games in. They're playing tonight at 9. But they're playing well against the Warriors, which I'm happy for. The Twins are coming back. They swept the Giants after sweeping the Orioles. So that's 2 back-to-back series sweeps.
Really?
I'm very happy for.
Okay.
And then personally for me, the one that it was exciting was Minnesota United, the soccer team.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my dogs.
Never been a big, they don't spend a ton of money. They don't you know what I mean? Minnesota sport teams in general, they don't spend a ton of money. They like to do things. They like to go to the discount rack for players. Like they still have a little bit of life left.
Sounds like Pittsburgh Steelers.
A little bit, yeah. But they played Inter Miami this weekend. And for those that don't know the soccer world, Lionel Messi, phenomenal player for Argentina. He's played in Europe. He's basically considered one of the greatest soccer players of all time, if not the greatest. And so when I saw them, they had them on the schedule. I was like, this is not going to go well. I'm going to do what I usually do, which is like watch the first 10 minutes and then go, fuck this. And then like turn it off after they're down 3-0.
Yeah.
My Minnesota United won 4-1.
Whoa.
Against Inter Miami and one of the greatest players of all time.
Okay.
So that's a little feather in my cap. I had nothing to do with it, but I'm very excited about it. And again, Brian, you know this from Minnesota. We have to celebrate stuff like this because we don't get it a lot. So we kind of have to be like, hey, look at us.
Oh my gosh. Like when the Minnesota Lynx won like back-to-back championships.
3 championships in 5 years.
This might be it. Like that might be the sports legacy of Minnesota, which is great. Like that's fine.
Here for it. That's fine.
We probably peaked there. So I mean, we take any it's great.
I'm not mad. Yeah, for the if you're a long time listener, I live part-time in Minnesota. So
he does.
All of these teams are a quarter of my favorite team. So I actually have no soccer team. So Minnesota United is my professional soccer team. Because Doug took us to a game. We went to a game. We had nice seats. And so
it was fun.
Shout out to everybody. I mean, Minnesota, do it, man. I think I don't know what's going to get y'all over the hump for sports. The Minnesota Wild are pretty good too.
They're
so, like,
good.
I don't know.
They've
yeah,
made the
right.
playoffs.
I mean,
they're pretty good. But I don't know what to get y'all over that hump. But I'm hoping that Anthony Edwards and this Minnesota Timberwolves team is that, like kind of like you. What was that? Kevin Garnett paid for the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Had him we had him for years. Could not seal that championship. So I'm hopeful.
I
don't
am.
Even know what. No.
Wrexham
Isn't that Ryan Reynolds' team?
It is Ryan Reynolds' team from Wales,
Wrexham,
and I follow them too. They have an incredible story as well, so I could get into it. But they are, I think, if I'm in Roman, keep me honest, they are one of the few teams that have been promoted every year in English football. So English football has 4 divisions, and English football does things a little bit different. When I say football, I mean soccer. But English football does it where if you're the bottom 2 teams, you get sent down to the next, like, okay, good. You get sent down to the next level below. So if you're in the top level and you're one of the bottom 2, you get relegated down. So they made it all the way down to the very bottom, and now they're like 1 league below the Premier League, which is huge. And they've been promoted 3 years in a row, which is huge.
Nice. Yeah. I remember you telling that story when Daredevil came out.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Wolverine and Daredevil and Wolverine came out.
Yeah.
But you also had another win today. Baseball.
That's right. Yeah.
Ran into Doug, and Harrison had his first baseball game today.
He had his first baseball game. Harrison went 2 for 3, scored 2 runs. Very excited for Harrison.
Excellent. Whoa. Okay.
It's very funny. I love Harrison. Okay, that's good. He's my son. I should love him. I love Harrison.
Like, what's the but?
I love Harrison unconditionally. One of the things that Harrison does that I think is hilarious is if he doesn't get something, he's my kid where he is not scared to say out loud, like, what are we doing? Like, so there was a moment where it wasn't a force out at the plate, so they had to tag him to get him out to when he scored a run.
Yeah.
So he just ran home, and they didn't tag him. And all of these coaches are like, the other team's coaches are like, tag him. Our coaches are like, touch the base, touch the base. And he touches the base, and the guy tags him. So he thinks he's out and he doesn't count. He goes like, I don't know what's going on. Like, just to everybody, like, I don't know what's happening. And so it ended up that his run counted, but it's just those moments where he just tickles me sometimes.
Dude, that's awesome. Way to go, Harrison.
He walked into the dugout. So Doug ended up having to be like play catcher, like behind.
Oh, sure.
Until whoever showed up. So Harrison after that walked into the dugout, and he it was so cute because he's frustrated because he didn't know that he was okay. So he slams his helmet down, like, nobody told me that I was supposed to touch the base. And I think that was before he realized, oh no, I actually got it. It looked like a baseball game. He took his hard head off, slammed it on the ground.
That's amazing.
And, took a thing of water. I was like,
that's
damn,
amazing.
Yeah. If you've ever seen major league players have a fit after they've given up on the winning run in the 7th, imagine that, but he's 8. It's so much funnier. So
it's cute.
But Marcus, the man of steel.
Yeah.
How you feeling, sir?
There he is.
I feel great. I feel good. Really, I don't know. I feel good. I went on a walk today, really up the ante. Been walking for about a mile for at least 3 days out the week for about a month and a half now.
Oh wow!
Just because health, just trying to get some stuff in order. And you go to you go get a checkout, and the doctor says something, and you're like, well, fuck, I didn't want to hear that. So
I don't like to go to the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's why I don't go unless there's blood in my stool.
The doctor's like taking your car into the shop.
Because
they put it up on that rack and they take a look and they're like, looks like you got a busted O-ring, and you're like, I have one, and you just don't even know what it is.
That's not where that's not where that spot is.
Can I fix it? No, it just does that now. That's just, that light is just on.
Yep. No, that light's a part of the car now.
Yep.
That click, your shoulder just clicks now. Try not to do stuff that would hurt it.
And it's best when you tell the doctor. So I don't know if I said this last part. I was bragging about the last event I was at. It was hot as hell outside, and I was like, I don't need sunscreen. People kept offering oh, do you need sun? I was like, I don't need sunscreen. I'm black. I got God's sunscreen, my black skin. And then ended up fucking burning. And then it
no.
didn't burn like what, like Doug said, cherry tomato. Mine was, it gave me eczema because of the heat. So it was like, I went to the doctor and I was like, Doc, I got these spots, I'm breaking out, like these bumps, like I don't know, they're itchy. She was like, that's eczema. And I was like, what? And she's like, you've never had eczema? And I was like, no. So like, why are you, I don't want to, she's very nice, but I was like, I don't want to bring something up and you question.
Don't shame me in asking a question.
I never having it. Like, I thought this was why I was supposed to ask questions. So it was a whole thing. So black people, put sunscreen on, okay? People of color, everybody, just put some fucking sunscreen on, okay?
It can help. That's what
you don't have to use. You don't have to use what Brian and I use, which is like SPF 95.
Oh my
god!
Also
something on.
But don't put like cocoa butter or coconut oil on, because that's gonna fry you like a fucking fish. So you actually got to put something, go put some sunscreen on. Find out what's good for you. There's black-owned sunscreens. I learned that shit the hard way.
Wow.
Marcus, you've seen some results from walking, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, I've seen some results from walking. Yeah, for sure. I went back to the doctor's office for a check-in.
Hype yourself up, man.
Thanks.
Hey,
dude. Thanks,
that's
good. Great friend. I went back to the doctor's office because I had to go after the month when I originally went. And so I went in, hopped on the scale. Usually I don't look. They write whatever down on their note and then stick you with the thermometer and then they move on. And so she walks in and she looks at the chart and she says, "Oh wow, you lost 6 pounds." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's awesome. There you go, dude.
Great. So that's what's got me motivated to just keep going. I want to be healthier. I don't need to be sexy. I just need to be.
Well, you're sexy, right? You're sexy right now.
Yeah.
So
Thanks,
nothing the scale tells you. Nothing the scales tell you is going to take away your sexiness. Sexiness is a vibe. It's not a number. So
you're right.
Agree.
That's why y'all have multiple kids.
Well, and more people need to say it out loud because
that is very true. What Doug is saying is real. I was also being serious.
I was
making a great point.
I was unfettered and was not going.
You did a great job, Doug.
I'm proud of me. Like
I'm proud of you.
Y'all just so sexy with good dick.
And that's the only thing that factors into family planning.
And that's it. No, nothing else. Nothing else. No love.
Is the dick good? Fuck it. I have 12 kids. We don't care. Like
that's no love, no planning, no budgeting, no nothing. Just go for the gusto.
Is it good or not?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Take it from the single man.
Gentlemen, should we pivot on into a little game that we like to call Catch That Quotable?
Pivot.
Catch that quotable.
Silky sounds of Marcus J. This one's gonna be tough. So I am prepared with
tough.
I will be prepared. Tough, like I don't know it, but reading it, there's no way.
Yeah,
I doubt we're gonna get it. I also put it into Google right away, and the movie that came up I have never heard of before. So
okay,
amazing.
Which again, I haven't seen Creed 1 or 2. See the list; it's not saying a lot. So let's just go here.
That's also
Fast
true.
And Furious.
We also started this game because we were not. We knew that this is not our game. We did this shit to be funny. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all ready?
Hit me.
All right. I don't need this. I already got trouble with my kids, my wife, my business, my secretary, the bums, the runaways, the roaches, prickly heat, and a homo dog. This just ain't my day. Again, I am reading a quote. These words do not represent me. I don't go slinging derogatory phrases at animals. But man, how fucked up would it be if I just did that?
I'm surprised we haven't run into this more when we do the
honestly, right? It's kind of
6 years
Huckleberry Finn reading. This is educational purposes only.
This is written. This is written, so it doesn't count.
I'm not really saying it if it's in my head. No, that's
I don't need this. I already got trouble with my kids, my wife, my business, my secretary, the bums, the runaways, the roaches, prickly heat, and a homo dog. This just ain't my day.
Sounds like somebody country as hell. So I'll say that. Not a Joe. What's that old movie with the Joe Dirt? Like a Joe
Dirt.
Like a Joe Dirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was David David Spade.
No, I was gonna say David Blaine.
Spade.
David Spade.
I almost said David Schwimmer. So like
that is a very different.
All three of those movies are very
Right?
different.
Right? Love to see that casting.
Yeah.
No, it was a David Spade like white trash movie.
Yeah. That's kind of what I feel when like that kind of list together. So that's the vibe I'm getting.
It's like a Dumb and Dumber Joe Dirt vibe, like just this dummy, this straight up like slapstick type humor.
I will give you a hint.
Yeah, let's do the hint. I'm not even going to
The hint is that this movie is from 1987.
Oh no.
That's not a great hint. It's not Joe
For
Dirt.
reference, I was born in 87, so this is a movie that is 38 years old.
I don't think it's Blues Brothers. No, Blues Brothers
not.
I think was the 90s.
I will give you some other here. Let me just give you some other hints because I'm not sure you're gonna get this. So I'm gonna throw 3 hints at you.
All right,
that's
rock
how
and roll.
confident
Really
I am
feeding
that
it to
you're
us.
not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. So this would be considered a horror movie. It is from 1987, and there is nobody famous of note in the cast. So this is, think like a 1987 B horror movie.
I'm gonna go Friday the 13th.
Okay.
I'll throw it out there because I feel like Marcus and I this is
out of my
before
wheelhouse.
1990 gets a little hazy.
It gets blurry, especially B movies for me because they put out so many.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll go Jason just to kind of go in that same realm, one of the Jason movies, or you can also go like a Michael Myers film too if you really wanted to, I guess. But I'll say Jason.
It is okay, gentlemen. It is neither one of those. This is a 1987 movie called Street Trash.
I've never heard of this.
No idea what that is.
Street Trash.
This movie is, you guys. The plot, the IMDb summary for this movie is absolutely insane. Here is the blurb, the IMDb blurb for this movie. A liquor store owner sells alcoholic beverages to homeless people, unaware of what the bottles actually contain. Toxic brew.
Incredible.
Let me share. I'm gonna just. Brian, are you bringing up? There you go.
Yeah,
Brian and I
I'm
are
bringing
on
up
the
the
same page.
trailer here. This is Street Trash. I'm looking at the trailer here. There's a guy.
I gotta hear how these people talk.
Okay, here we go. Hang on.
The wife, and the kids.
Is that right?
They never listen.
I hate to see him pissing his life away in them goddamn computers.
What?
You ever feel like forgetting the whole thing?
You think I got it easy?
Well, now you can.
I'm talking about life!
Drop out and join the ranks of the few.
Is that the narrator?
Yeah.
Trash.
This is like
place a condominium.
Back when trailers had voiceovers.
And eat for even less.
I don't know what's going on.
Be forewarned. Freedom has its price.
Freedom.
Yes.
Street Trash.
There's always a snake in the Garden of Eden.
The narration is not messing up with what's on.
Yes, do you pussy? Drink my flavor.
Yes, do you pussy?
So the liquid turns them into that man's arm was spurting blood.
What is this movie?
I don't even understand what I'm watching. This man is like blowing up like a balloon now. There's an explosion.
Is he
melting into a toilet?
There is in like green sludge toilet. Oh, they're all drinking the goo.
It's easy to
when is that man going to explode?
Yeah, you've been blowing up for 3 frames, man. Look at that cheap hang.
Street trash.
Now, my question is, why is Roman watching this?
Roman, you have kids. Like you.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, man? Are you okay?
I feel like somebody owe us $10 for not. Because how are we supposed to?
I've never seen Street Trash before.
I think
that?
my favorite.
Where are you even watching Street Trash?
I encourage. Good point. I encourage everyone that's listening in the podcast format to go Google this trailer for Street Trash 1987, and like, like the end of the trailer is like it's street trash. Like that makes everything else make sense. I don't really understand it. Like, it's just people
Roman,
exploding.
Hold on. Roman, you watched the trailer, you haven't watched the movie. So did you just pull a random quote from a movie you haven't seen?
Wow.
That's cheating. Because I was just about to say, you either watch this on AMC with Prime Video. These are the places where it's available. AMC Plus with Prime Video, Con TV with Prime Video. I don't even know what the fuck that
Tubi,
is.
You guys.
Screenbox, Tubi, or you rent it and bought it on Amazon. It's got a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
Well, I know what I'm doing.
Hey, it's on Tubi, so that's free.
How fucked up would it be? How fucked up would it be is if I watch Street Trash before I watch anything else on the list of things that I haven't seen?
Oh my gosh.
I actually would be very upset.
I would be upset because that movie looks terrible.
That movie looks like garbage.
There's a man who melts into a toilet.
I mean, it's also so clearly just paint. Like it's not even like blood paint. It's just like, anyway, we're gonna splash pink on this guy.
Brian, what is it rated? Is it PG-13 or does that have an R rating?
I mean, let's see here. It's not rated. It is not rated.
Oh,
I don't even know if this movie had a theatrical release.
Oh, it is unrated. The poster is the guy melting into the toilet.
Oh,
it's a image of that.
Nope. This had a theatrical release in 1987.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, wow.
Can't imagine the box office was great. 12. It made $12.
One of the reviews says not quite garbage. I wasn't expecting much when I watched this, but what I was expecting was a melt movie, an ordinary horror film with a plot centered around
melting.
Oh, this is too much. It was a plot centered around the Viper drink. So there you go. People seem to be watching it for funsies.
Okay. Hey, there you go. Please, Patty family, don't get any ideas.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. I'm telling you that right now.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We owe you one, but I don't know if it's gonna be this one. So
why would you even go?
We owe you one.
Let's move on.
Anyway,
I think Dragon Ball anime would punch our ticket if we still
that would be the one. I'd rather do that.
I would watch that. I would watch that before I watch this.
Crash.
Gentlemen, any news pieces that you wanted to touch on before Brian takes us through our lovely event?
I have one. I have one. So Netflix announced this came out last week after we recorded. So this is like a week old news, but it's important to me, so I'm going to share it. Netflix is removing their interactive like choose your own story movies and shows from the service, which I'm upset about because it's not hurting anyone having them on the service. So they're going to try to do like a tax write-off or whatever.
Yes.
But
how many of those are there?
There was a few. Bandersnatch from Black Mirror was like the most marketed. There was another one with Bear Grylls, like Can You Survive? There's a list here and I can't find it right now. But I really liked Bandersnatch. I love Black Mirror, and I'm kind of sad that this is gonna go away and you won't be able to access it. Like this was, I guess, like a one in a million experience that you got to have, and now you won't. Like I don't know if
is that like effective immediate. Is it effective immediately, Brian?
They don't have a date. AV Club were the first ones to report it. Also, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt also had an interactive story.
Oh, it did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a date on this right now. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm upset because I had a really good time with it. I thought it was really innovative. I thought that was going to be a way for like streaming services to stand out. And it always bothers me when this stuff gets deleted. Obviously, they're a private company. They can do what they want. However, it's always one of those things of like when you talk to people, like, oh yeah, there was these like choose your own adventure things on Netflix. Like, what are you talking
You can't even prove it.
Yeah. And I also think it's a bold move. I also think it's a bold move in the world of VR. Like VR headsets have come a long way. You would think that this is like hey, if you're watching it on your TV, we're just not going to have it be supported anymore. But if you're watching it with like a VR headset or like an Apple, I don't know, whatever the fuck they call it, Vision eyeglass, I don't know. But if you're watching it with whatever, IOI device that's Apple made that goes over your eyes, that seems like an easy win.
Yeah, I think like if you are to take that route, because I partially agree with the VR and everything and choose your own adventure. I think you do have to invest in it and double down because I think when Bandersnatch came out, there was a lot of pushback and it was a lot of bad reviews from what I remember about Bandersnatch. And do people want to? It feels like a weird juxtaposition a little bit because when we have conversations, we always talk about Netflix they have a template where they want people to be able to like halfway watch or keep up through the dialogue in case they get lost and they say the one-liner that explains the whole film. But then you have this, which is a completely interactive experience where you actually got to sit down and watch it to like make a decision. And that feels like you're asking people for, I know there's an audience for everything, right? Like for sure. But that feels like you're asking for two different things and you got to make an investment in choose your own adventure, I think, in my eyes.
Yeah. And
they also have games on there. Take the fucking games off.
Yeah, it's
well, hold on. I play some of those on my phone.
I have also played some of the Netflix games.
Oh, okay.
They automatically come with the streaming package you get. So you just download them to your phone and play with them, la-di-da, you're good to go. Like full on games.
Civilization was on there. I played that for a while.
If you haven't played Monument Valley, I think all the Monument Valley games are on there, which are really good.
There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that was on there too. Shredder's Revenge was on there too. That was fun to play.
Yeah. Like the games piece of it, I think there's a space for that. Apparently, so according to this report from AV Club, they have reports of people being quoted as saying they're going to be overhauling the Netflix user interface. And those interactive titles apparently didn't play nice with that interface. So it may be part technical for the reason that they're doing it. So it's possible they come back. But either way, I'm bummed that this thing I enjoyed is not going to be accessible anymore. Yeah. Am I going to go back and play it? No. Did I enjoy my time with it? Yes. So I just wanted to have like a candle moment, I guess, for Bandersnatch. I loved Black Mirror Bandersnatch. So
it would be fun for us to do the Bear Grylls episode to see which one of us makes it the furthest.
That would actually be fun. That would be fun. I wonder how that would work. I'll look into that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We all do it separately and then come back with our reports of like when did it say you died?
Yeah, that would be actually really funny.
They had a Boss Baby one, but I think they removed that one. So they've already started to remove them. But
remember when the only company that would remove shit back in the day was the damn Disney Vault. And when they would put the damn movies back in the vault, and then they would say, "You're not gonna see this again in another whatever
for the first time in 25 years. We're bringing one beloved Disney classic out of the vault."
And when DVDs became hot and Blu-ray, they was like, now you can get Snow White on Blu-ray DVD.
You know, Disney really harnessed the power of DVD extras. I will say this. I feel like they were the ones to be like, this is only going to have so many printings with these special features never before seen. And you're like, I got to go to Target right now.
Buy it right now.
I agree. Especially Pixar. And I remember vividly, Lion King 1.5 had a very good bonus features where they did a tour. It was a ride. They gave you quizzes in it. Like that, they nailed it.
Yeah, I agree. So
there were some DVDs. There's going to be a moment in time where we go back and we look like 10 years from now, and we look at some like DVDs that were made. The title screen, like the select, like what you're going to do screens, like those. I vividly remember the X-Men one. Like the original X-Men title screen, like when you were on there and you had to select like play movie, select to see bonus features, and you would go into different parts and it would open up, and then you would like those were those
like
were
opening up to Cerebro.
Those were investments.
Those were like an art form in itself that it's like kind of like AOL Instant Messenger. It just doesn't exist anymore because there's no world where we need that. Like
nobody's asking ASL anymore.
Yeah. Or when you could pick the scene that you wanted. Like they used to title each scene. I was just moving right past it.
I'm glad you did. Hey, more people need. Hey, we've moved fast. Age, sex, location, ASL. We don't need to move. We don't need to ask that question anymore. I said it. The two of you were like, "What the fuck?"
The dating apps take care of that now. So
no need to ask.
It just felt like it came out of left field, so I wasn't sure what to do. It was like a hot potato, and I was like, I looked at Brian for like,
you got to take a bite of the hot potato. That's how you double down. You get that hot potato, and you go like, nope, not today.
Oh my God. We're dropping millennial lore here. Like some people are gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
They don't know.
Yeah, that's what we did back in Instant Messenger.
Yeah,
if you didn't
we
know
would go into chat rooms and we would ask people if they scuba, and that's it until they kicked you out. Things I did when I was a youth.
No, we're not saying this was a good thing. But,
it was not. To catch a predator, that happened. Like that. Not
there's
like
also,
to me, but like there's a reason why
Brian,
it's on TV.
I want him to dig himself out of that one.
Here's how I'll dig myself out. They always say like, "Oh, you were talking to somebody in a chat room." Everybody's seen the show. Chris Hansen is like, "Were you talking to Becky?" Little did you know.
Are you describing how to catch a predator to everyone? That show is
this is how you catch them. Like this is how the police do it. They show up to a chat room, and it's a whole thing. Watch the show. It's like I'm sure it's on an NBC.
Well, Chris Hansen got fired from the show, so like it's a different vibe now. So but
they fuck them people up when they got outside that house. They would at first when you first started watching, the cops would like tackle them. Now it's like get down on the ground. Yeah, get out on the ground. They don't tackle, but at first they were like, as soon as he walked,
they hired linebackers from the Chargers. And
oh my
gosh, get them!
I think that's the funny part was like Chris Hansen would be having this intimate conversation with this person, like this very deep conversation. The guy, whoever whoever the alleged perpetrator was,
there you go,
would be like, "Can I just leave?" And Chris Hansen's like, "Yeah, man, there's the door."
There's the door.
Full well, Chris Hansen knowing there is like a squad of the beefiest police officers you could imagine, and they sprint tackle that guy. Like
they run a sub 7 440, and they were just like they were like
Chris Hansen is inside on the walkie-talkie, like blue 3260, blue 3260, blitz.
That's wild shit. That was a show.
It's like, hey, watch this person. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there.
That one, and then I'm gonna move on. That one, and then what was it, like Extreme Makeover Home Edition and Extreme Makeover like Physical Edition? I think are very wild TV shows.
Yeah, there have been documentaries on Hulu. Brittany and I watched one about home makeover, and there are people that got their homes upgraded, and it took them into a different fucking tax bracket, and then they had to sell the house because they couldn't afford the payment. So, hey, I don't know whatever your name is, who's doing those home improvements. Fucking dot your I's and cross your T's before you do this, no man. Like
I don't even think they do it anymore. The face one, the surgical Extreme Makeover, like just the original version was also weird because people were getting cosmetic surgery to be prettier. And like that is so fucking problematic.
Yeah.
Or was it? Oh, I'm not really sure.
The Fox had one that called the Swan. Which, if you're curious, that's a title off of The Ugly Duckling Who Turns into a Swan. So essentially, the premise is that they're not telling you, but here's the premise: look at all these fucking ugly ducklings we got. Which one you want to have be a swan? That's all they're saying.
Then bust them out in the new dress. Man. It was that was just not a great.
Late 2000s reality TV really started like to Ouroboros itself of just like, hey, what if we did this? And it's like. Yeah, but that's like messed up. And they're like, perfect. Get it on TV.
Like looking back on it, it's
perfect.
Garbage.
put it out for everybody to watch.
Garbage.
Yeah. Anyway, Bandersnatch is leaving Netflix.
Is that how we got here?
Nah, 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 nah.
Brian, did someone? I don't know if I just blacked out. What was the process from Bandersnatch to AOL?
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Please.
So
what is the path back?
Brian started off at announcing Bandersnatch and the shows that of Choose Your Own Adventure were leaving. We went through that process. We talked about all the different shows. Then we talked about the only time that Disney used to be the only ones that when they would open the vault and to re-release a lot of movies, that's what they used to do, which brought us on the DVDs because they would when DVDs came out and Blu-rays came out, they went back to do that. And then from that we got to remember all the DVD features. Disney and Pixar nailed that, which got us to The Lion King, which then got us to
I think that's where we got to
X-Men, and then it got from X-Men we got to
because Brian says we used to use AOL. This is some deep millennial lore, and then that's where we got.
And then that's when we got.
So really, this is Brian's fault.
That's it's always my fault. Really?
No, I'm kidding, Brian.
I have read the Choose Your Own Adventure books. Yeah,
that is on me.
You're fine. And yes, there was a crime one I did, Roman, a Choose Your Own Adventure, and I always got caught. I don't think there was an ending where you didn't get caught.
I used to cheat, so. I read the back of the book.
Marcus, you've been hyping up some Man of Steel announcements that are coming. What do you got, sir?
Listen, all we know is today, James Gunn announced that a new trailer. So a Peacemaker, DC is on a roll right now, and I am so excited about it. Peacemaker got a teaser. He is specifically, James Gunn is specifically calling it a teaser trailer. We've got a teaser about Peacemaker season 2. And it just showed
August
a lot
12th,
of,
I think,
on August 12th. They're already promoting it. It was on TNT for during the basketball. John Cena popped up on the TNT show during basketball season.
There you can
see him.
Yep, people would see. Yeah, people could see him. He's also in his heel mode right now, so they're really pushing that. But yeah, so that came out. But then this morning, James Gunn announced that there is a trailer. He is very specifically saying a Superman trailer that's coming out Wednesday, which for those that are listening to the audio, that is today. And it's it's supposed to be a full-length trailer. He put out a couple teasers today. And we got a couple new images too, because Milkbone is like a sponsor or one of the partners for this.
Tracks.
We're seeing a promo run out. And so we saw Dairy Queen is going to have a Superman meal. And that's like a big thing in a Blizzard. Milkbone is a sponsor for Crypto, which there's like this beautiful shot of Superman laying in his childhood bed and Crypto's laying on his stomach, which was like a still image that was released. So we're starting to see this massive summer of Superman roll out.
The machine is turning on.
Did Fantastic Four get the McDonald's contract? Like
Dairy Queen feels like. Yeah,
Dairy Queen, and it wasn't official. Those were like leaks from people like seeing the promo getting released and stuff like that. But it's like a red, white, and blue Blizzard or red. It's like something like birthday cake. I think is a flavor, which I was interested in.
But I don't like that. I think it doesn't fit.
This is the time when we get weird stuff spoiled. Like this is how we found out Wolverine was going to wear the mask last year. Like somebody released a toothbrush or something, and it was like he's got the mask.
And all the action figures have come out too, so that's kind of also revealing some things. So
yeah, I feel like a Superman Blizzard should be like an apple pie Blizzard, because he's like a real feels like a very real like Kansas American thing to eat.
I'm not saying no, but I don't know.
Birthday cake doesn't fit though. Like it does. Birthday
cake kind of makes sense to me for some reason.
Tell me why.
I'm not a fan of birthday cake is not my go-to. However, I think that when you're talking Man of Steel, Blue, apple pie is it leans too much into Kansas, and it doesn't lean as much. Like birthday cake is like,
how you make that a Blizzard.
It's hopeful. It's blah blah blah. Like I don't know.
Brian, what do you mean? You cut up your apples into tiny pieces. You put them into a cinnamon and you cook them so they get soft. And you put those in and you mix them into a Blizzard and you swirl caramel in there. the fuck is wrong with you?
No, what's wrong with me? No way. Are you kidding me? Apples in my Blizzard? No, man. No,
Brian,
that's not
Brian.
good.
I think I
That's
was
not
wrong.
good.
You said apple in my. So
What
it's
did you say?
it is cake batter cookie dough Blizzard of the month.
Oh,
Okay, on board for that.
Superman meal deal is what a Superman sauce and toasted buffalo with drink. So this is the stuff that's
okay.
like,
That actually that's up my alley right there.
That I would eat. That I would eat. I would also
absolutely get that.
I would also eat an apple pie Blizzard.
I'm gonna disagree.
I
but
want to
I'm-
say
I know
you.
that that's not a fun time for Brian.
wait.
'Cause
Okay,
Brian
wait,
wants
hold
to
on.
get cavities from his
Hold on.
desserts, but
Can you
I would eat
explain?
an apple pie Blizzard.
I was trying to Google the Dairy King
Fruit
thing.
my fucking dessert? That's not fun at all. Get out.
Explain your flavor again. Lock in with me real quick, because you. Explain the dessert again.
I can.
Please.
Okay.
I'm crying.
It is apple pieces.
Okay.
Cinnamon sugar apple pieces mixed into your Blizzard with like pie crust also mixed in there.
They have something like that.
I'm sure
Do
that they do.
Yeah, I think they have something like that. Like they put strawberry, like a strawberry cheesecake, the strawberry chunks with there's the cinnamon. What's that thing I love, but they only do around the holiday season? It's like a cinnamon snickerdoodle, like kind of thing.
Yeah,
Has like in it, or,
Like a cinnamon cookie is supposed to be kind of like the pie. And
Yeah.
there's an apple in there, and then a caramel swirl.
Yep. So they got kind of stuff. Anyway, that is what they're doing.
This is how the podcast breaks up.
Cold Stone birthday cake is
over
Brian,
what goes
Brian,
in ice cream.
What is your go-to Blizzard, Brian?
Oh, mine is the cookie dough
I think I
Blizzard.
know it.
That thing is undefeated. Like it's a hot day, everyone's getting DQ. That thing will put me in a good mood immediately. Like
What size do
dough
you? Well, I'm coming to you too, Doug. What size do you typically get?
Oh man, I used to get the large. I can't. As I get older, I top out at medium now. I can't. It's too much sugar.
The large is much bigger than anticipated, but when you're hungry, it is the perfect size.
Especially when it's hot. Like, and you're like, yeah, give me all of this. And then you get halfway through it, and you're like, this was too much.
This was terrible.
Because then it just melts. Doug, what is your go-to Blizzard?
They had one. I haven't gotten a Blizzard in a while.
Same.
But they had one that was like fudge pieces. I think it was like Mississippi mud, but it was like fudge pieces, pecan.
Yep.
It was something like that, and I loved that one. That one was my favorite.
What size do you typically get?
When I do get a Blizzard, I usually get a small. Same reason as Brian. Like I get halfway through it, and I'm like, this is too much. Lately, though, I just get like a dipped cone, just because that's
nice.
like a
I get
perfect
it.
amount of ice cream for me.
What about you, Marcus? What are you getting?
Mine is a turtle pecan cluster, so it's kind of a lot like what Doug just said. It just has like the turtle, the candy, the caramel, chocolatey. Same. It used to be a large because I was like, I need a large, and then you realize you get to like the bottom quarter, and it's all melted because you can't finish the fucking thing. So
the soup and
which is fine because I do like to problematic. I like to heat up my ice cream in the microwave for like 10 to 12 seconds. Like if I have it at home, I will scoop it, put it in a bowl, and then I will warm it up just a little bit so it has a little bit of that like that soupiness. Yes, everybody gets one question apiece. Go.
You know it's called ice cream, right?
Next question.
Is it the flavor of the soup that you enjoy?
It doesn't turn all the way to soup. It's just I don't like putting it's like I gotta fight with too cold ice cream. You know what I mean? Like if I'm getting a Blizzard, I'm not gonna put it in the microwave.
Wow.
But if I'm at home and it's in my freezer and like I'm trying to just
you mean like if it's rock solid?
Yeah, like if not rock solid, but it's in the freezer and I just scoop it to soften it.
I envisioned something completely different, which was you like
not just
scooping it and being like, this is too cold. Zap. That's what I envisioned. So I retract my question.
I am less confused now. I imagine Marcus look at this perfectly good bowl of ice cream. Well, better warm it up.
This is why I don't share anything on this damn podcast.
No, because you
In
do
the chat,
normal
no, that's
things
the-
and then we twist them into
No, no, no,
terrible
In the
no,
things.
that
chat,
makes
Roman
perfect
likes a s'mores blizzard.
He does.
So
He
there
does.
you go.
DQ sponsor us. Superman.
I love that.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
James
Yeah,
Gunn.
everybody.
Talk to us.
yeah,
Everybody.
blizzard
Yeah.
bracket this summer. I think that
Yeah,
might
for
be coming
sure.
up.
Ooh, actually, yeah, that'd be fire.
That would be.
DQ.
great.
That's all I got,
Fun.
man.
I want to
He's
touch
man.
on AMC theaters really quickly, and I'll make
Sure.
it as brief but to the and but as thorough as possible. So,
Do it.
movie theaters have had a rough go. AMC reported in this first quarter that attendance fell more than 11% in the first quarter of 2025 when compared to the same time last year. Now, the CEO has said this is already course corrected. So they're not
Yeah.
like worried about it. And they
Right.
feel like it's made up for that recently. But that did not stop AMC from announcing that if you are a member of their Stub Rewards program, you will now get discounted tickets on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, with the discounted ticket being 50% off of an adult movie ticket. And Roman, that is fascinating.
Roman says,
Wow.
yes, they have. We had only 9 people total this weekend for Thunderbolts. Jesus
That's
Christ.
wild. That's wild.
Oof.
So what they're really excited about says like that really this move is being made because of Fantastic Four, Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth. So what I think that they're trying to do is I think they're trying to say, come see it, and
Right.
then if you want to see it again, come on Tuesday or Wednesday when it's cheap to see it again.
Yeah.
So I think this feels like they're trying to get like return moviegoers. So which is interesting.
$3 movie ticket.
$3
is
tickets.
Wild,
wow,
Roman.
go to Roman's theater. Goodness
Jesus
gracious.
Oh shit. This premium movie theater experiences like IMAX and Dolby Cinema will cost more. AMC said the 50% discount will also apply to those tickets based on their price.
Whoa.
Fascinating.
That's actually, it might be, they're either desperate or smart as hell. And how does this work with the tariffs? I don't fucking know. But like,
I don't know.
like,
Who knows if they'll be there?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's smart. I think you got to try something.
Yeah.
You know that it's a blockbuster summer movie, whatever the fuck. Shit.
I mean, here's the thing is like movie theaters used to occupy this space, right? And we've talked about this before of just like, hey, I don't know what to do Friday night. Let's just go to a movie. And it's low investment. It's $7 or whatever. You're going to go see whatever the new movie is and you call it a day. And that was one of those touchstones that people had. And now that it's like $10-20 just to get in the doors, sometimes people don't do that. So like, yeah, that's what you should be doing, AMC. Yeah. I know that they've had like, I mean, I know they've had issues just trying to remain profitable and trying to make something work. So I think they're desperate. Marcus. I think it's the first one. But honestly, I think it's really smart. Even if it's just a place for people to go, $5, call it a day.
Easy.
Especially in the summer when it's hot and you're like, I just need somewhere where I can escape the heat. Like, okay, I saw Superman once. Yeah, I don't care. I'll see it again. I need someplace to cool down because the ticket's $8. Like, I don't care. Like, that makes a ton of sense.
With all of these movies coming out between June and July, it also, the other factor that plays in is I don't have to choose what movie I'm going to go see. So if Superman and Fantastic Four are coming out in July, I would have to pay. I got to go to the movies twice. I got to pay that full fee twice. Popcorn, drink. It's a full night. If you're going to really make it an experience, I don't know if anybody just goes to the movie and then leaves and goes directly home anymore. You know what I mean? There's something else that's in there, but I feel like
you like
now I don't have to choose. Yeah, you got to have dinner. You want to hang out, especially if you're going with a group of friends or a date or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's desperation, but shit, shoot.
I mean, yeah, I honestly, I hope that works for them and I hope it sticks around because I really feel like that is what is needed here. So I'm curious to see if other theaters follow suit. I think adding a whole nother day that works. That works a ton.
Did he say it was only on Tuesday?
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. I wonder why obviously you can't pick Friday and Saturday. So I guess that's the reason why you pick those days.
Yeah,
So
you want that full ticket. Like you want that full price ticket, especially because you have to report box office for your Friday and Saturday showings. So they don't want to want to like go that far. I mean, Roman, if I'm seeing it, Roman asked a question, how much total do you typically spend at the movie theater for yourself? Good question. If I'm seeing it in town at at Vermilion Theaters, it's like I think it's $18 because I'll get my ticket, and then I'll get my Sobe Life Water, and then like my Twizzlers, and that's what I'll get.
Yeah, it's about the same. It's about 22 because I get the ticket, and then I get it's either like probably a small or medium popcorn, a large drink, and then like 2 Nerds ropes, maybe a Cruncher Bunch. So like that's kind of where that kicks up.
Yeah, I'm like a 25. But I'm assuming that's because I'm in the Chicago area. So like things are a little bit higher, but the tickets usually 10 to 11, and then any snack is 7 to 8 usually. Like
when we went to see Thunderbolts, that was more. We went to Sioux Falls, so that was more expensive. Because the concessions is expensive. We got the nice cups from Thunderbolts and like picking the seat. So yeah, that was a little
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that.
What happens?
Sounds good for us.
It is. I mean, here's the other thing. If you live near an AMC, like it's 5 minutes from your house, the Stubbs reward program is like free. So it seems like it would be stupid not to sign up. Like, because it'd be easy. So, Brian,
hello.
You have an outstanding what are those rankings? So you're gonna have us rank the most impactful movie franchises.
Yes. So we're gonna be doing a different type of blind ranking for our game tonight. Previously, what we've done is one of us would basically hand out whatever thing you needed to rank, and then the 2 people would make separate lists. Tonight, world premiere, the 3 of us will be deciding together where a certain item needs to go between 1 and 12. So we are doing the most cultural impactful movie franchise. So these will be a cluster of movies with merchandise that we have everything in here from like Lord of the Rings, like Walt Disney animated stuff. So hopefully everything is covered here. The sources we used were also some of like the ones that made the most money, but also ones that we know that still kind of kick around with references. I see Nikki in the chat. Glad you could join us. We're just starting our big game of the night. So the 3 of us are going to come to a consensus on how we're ranking the most culturally impactful movie franchise. This also means it's not the one that made the most money. It's the one that's like sticking around in your brain, in conversations, in references, or even references in movies. So that's the take we're going to take here. So the first one, Walt Disney animation.
This is a fucked up one to start with.
It is really like wild that we're starting with Walt Disney. However, I feel like this is a good primer of the discussions to come. So this is anything Walt Disney Animation did. We're considering all of that under the same franchise since Disney owns all of those movies. So
Pixar type movies and the regular animation too as well.
Yeah. Yes. Ooh. Yes.
I mean, I have to
gotta go
top 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely top. I agree. We're definitely in the top 6.
I don't think it's number 1, but I would certainly put it above 5.
Brian sounds like he wants to go below 3.
I could do 3 or 4, honestly, because Disney has also
I'd be
put out
comfortable
stuff
with either of those
that like doesn't hit, and like you don't remember the movie, but you remember Walt Disney. So I don't know.
That's fair. And they had some obscure ones out there.
Yeah, but when they were hot though.
I mean,
Monsters,
their 90s
Toy
run.
Story, Lion King. I gotta go 3 because I feel like those are a lot of heavy hitters that still last the test of time. That's why
I'm comfortable with 3.
All right, we're locking in at 3, everybody. All right.
I didn't use my 1. Ooh,
Jesus.
See, this is high for me, but low for others.
The next one is 007. So all of the 007 movies as a cultural impactful movie.
Here's where I'll put this. 007 has some standouts.
Yep.
Yes.
Goldeneye, Moonraker.
Games, not just movies, but games and
Moonraker, Goldeneye, The Man with the Golden Gun. Like some of those like really stand out. Goldfinger. Some of those really stand out. However, there are also some that are like, what the fuck is that one again? Like I couldn't tell you. Is it Roger Daltrey? Like was that the middle one?
Timothy Dalton, The Living Daylights?
I couldn't tell you the middle. I could not tell you the middle, some of those. So that's why for me, it's been on a run as of late where Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig did awesome job with it.
Yeah.
But because, and Sean Connery's fantastic, but because like there's some of those weird gray areas, I got to put this at like a 5 or a 6.
Oh,
I don't know if I go that high.
I'm ready to go 7 or 8.
Which again, I am comfortable with.
I was thinking 7. I was actually thinking 8 right on the nose.
Okay.
Important enough that people give a fuck about when the next casting is done, but I don't think is always memorable. Everybody has a different generation of Bond that they like.
I think they care more now than they did before.
I agree.
Agreed. It also spans such a long time that, like, to your point, Doug, it's like, yeah, there was a 007 movie, but like, I don't know, Timothy Dalton, I guess, did something like that. I feel like that's the case in point for being one in the bottom half. I'm good locking in at 8.
I'm also fine with that.
All right. Nikki, I see you in the chat. Yes, 007, definitely problematic, which is why like the last 4 movies have felt so like it's such a huge sea change. Which I
agree
for sure.
Doug,
this is funny.
I'm looking at you. Fast and Furious franchise. This includes.
I mean, I can tell you how I feel about 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10.
This is bullshit.
I can tell you how I feel about 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10. Can I be honest with you though?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really given a fuck about the Fast and Furious franchise at large. Like at large.
I don't know. Fast and Furious is just one, like it occupies such a unique space, I feel like, in like the group mindset. Cause like when one of them comes out, everybody talks about them for like a week. And then you don't think about it.
No.
For like years. Like it's just not happening.
Oh no. In my mind, the best thing that came out of the Tokyo Drift was that song that starts out bum 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 bum. Like I couldn't tell you what cars they drove. I couldn't tell you the fucking plot, but that song comes on. That's nailed it, Marcus. Yeah, that song comes on, and I'm like, yep, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Thank you for that one. So I'm comfortable with 10 for this.
I feel like Fast and Furious does it at a certain point feels like a forced upon us franchise.
A little
because
bit.
Vin Diesel loves it. I think it could have easily. It is a franchise. It's not one that I'm like, oh fuck yeah, they got another Fast and Furious,
right? Oh, another one of these. All right.
Yep.
I guess if we're doing that, I feel like we're in 10 to 12 territory here.
I've been consistently about a spot above you, so I am fine with 10 or 11.
I'm fine with 11.
All right, we'll lock in at 11. Don't tell Vin Diesel. All right. So all right.
Yep, Nikki, thanks for telling it how it is.
Nikki in the chat questioning if people actually care about it as a franchise. I can tell you the ride at Universal looks awful from any of the videos I've seen on TikTok.
That's true.
Okay, moving on. The next one is Jurassic Park. So this is everything Jurassic World, all the Jurassic Park movies. I mean, they did video games. I mean, I think they did a Big Wheel too.
5.
Like, they had toys.
Yeah.
5.
Marcus is saying 5 right off the rip, right out of the gate.
Marcus, 5. I would also say 5.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think it's a 1. I don't think it's a 1 or a 2. Nope. But I don't think it belongs lower.
Here's my reasoning. I'm just I want to be clear in my reasoning. Number 1, love Jurassic Park. The first Jurassic Park is a fucking classic. And Jurassic Park as an idea And there's a reason that they keep coming back and keep finding islands that are forbidden, because that franchise in itself is like, you want a fucking scary horror dinosaur movie, which is what they're supposed to be. This is how you get it done. And then you can put any star you want to, you plug and chug. So I think I think Jurassic Park is iconic.
I mean, this got its own Lego game.
Yep.
I played that. I just realized I'm struggling because I feel like Jurassic Park comes and goes, but I do feel like there's something like dinosaur movie. You say dinosaur movie, everyone's gonna say Jurassic Park. Like, I don't know another dinosaur movie, to be honest with you, like that would have that much cultural impact. Yeah,
I don't think there has been. I don't think that other people have come into the dinosaur movie space because I don't think that they feel confident that they can do it better.
Yeah. All right. I'm good to lock in at 5 then. I'm with y'all. All right. We got Star Trek is the next franchise here. Man, they have TV shows too. I guess we'll try to keep it within the movies since we're a film podcast, but man, Star Trek is so many things now. I don't know.
I'm almost willing to say that I abstain from this vote because I don't think that outside of the Chris Pine Star Trek movie, I gotta be real. I think I watched Wrath of Khan and that's like it.
Oh man, it's so good.
I want to go 7 because Star Trek is it is not as consistent as Star Wars, but if I'm thinking of all the series and the books. And like those were the first books I read because my grandmother, my step grandmother Priscilla, had all of these on the bookshelf, and those were like some of the first things I would like just skim through and read a couple chapters. And I mean, you get what's my guy, Professor X, Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart. Like you get so many iconic like captains that are part of like Starfleet. Like, yeah, for sure. So it's high for me. 6 or 7.
Honestly, I can get it's tough because I'll be honest, they have not had a lot of movies, capital M movies lately.
No.
So I think I'm targeting 7 because I think still 7, feel like
they're still culturally important. I mean, there's still look, there's a whole group of fandom called Trekkies for a reason.
Right.
Yes. Like so
it didn't go away.
No, and it's never gone away, and that's still something that's a part of like our cultural nomenclature that we would have something to be able to name and point to. But I don't think the franchise itself is, in terms of movies, I think it's far outpaced by the TV show than it has.
I agree. I think I'm good. I'm good with 7. I think that makes sense. Oof. All right. Next is The Lord of the Rings. So this is also going to include like Hobbit. I mean, that animated movie they just had come out. I'm checking in on the chat. We got a Velocipaster shout out, which we did review years ago. That's the only other movie.
We said do it better.
We did say live long and prosper.
Lord of the Rings is a weird one for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's very specific.
I, as someone who is a big Lord of the Rings fan,
it's you, Doug. You
have to make
a decision.
I'm gonna put it at 4. I think that it was one of the first movies. I think one of the first movies that did that longer format and did it well. You know, these movies were, each one was 3 hours. If we think of the original trilogy, each one was 3 hours. So, and try one of the better adaptations from book to screen.
100%.
So for me, in terms of those two areas and how it set the definition of the genre moving forward, the fantasy genre moving forward, I think it had a very big impact overall. And so for me, I'm putting it at 4.
That's hard to fight with. That feels high for me, though.
That's fair.
Just a touch.
I'm not a Lord of the Rings. I'm not the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. Like, I know the books are a thing, right? It's not just a movie. You're talking cultural impact. There's a language. There is like the lore. Like,
Roman, I'm not putting it in the top 3 because we have to reach a consensus, and I know these two won't put it in the top 3. I also know that there are other things coming, so I'm comfortable with 4 or 6. If I was making this list and it was just me, yeah, it would be 1 or 2. But I'm playing with others, so
it does kind of feel like the definitive fantasy movie franchise. I'll be honest. Like if people are like, oh, like there's this movie with witches and wraiths and dragons or magic, I'd be like, Lord of the Rings. That's the first movie I would ask someone if they're trying to like describe it, you know?
When we originally had this conversation in the chat, right? One of the things we talked about was like common notability, right? So if you were to bring up Lord of the Rings to just so Star Wars May the 4th is something that is now recognized that like the NFL does it or and college teams do participate in this thing, and businesses do it right on its own, not paid by Star Wars, but on its own because it became a thing. That's why that seems like a highly recognizable thing.
Yeah.
If I was to say Lord of the Rings, I'd be familiar with the movies because I am a nerdy guy. But does the common person, are they familiar with like Lord of the Rings, I guess? Does that count? Does that matter?
Yeah. I mean,
so.
This is broadly opaque on purpose for us to have these conversations. And honestly, that kind of convinces me it should be like in the 4th spot.
Okay.
Because like
if I said My Precious, I think most people are going to know where that's from. And has been, people have come to use that for like everything. So like it's something that was used to describe the ring that came from the movie and Andy Serkis and how he said it. But now there are other people, and that has migrated its way into other shows and other media as a referenceable piece.
Or you shall not pass.
Yep.
Like that is,
yeah. I just saw a TikTok video that I don't know if it was real, but a professor did that.
I also saw that, and it was wild.
And so I think that might convince me to go 4 here.
I could go 4.
Conversation.
I was between 4 and 6, but that was a good
Doug, Doug, that was well done.
Way to fight for it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Number 4 there for Lord of the Rings. Star Wars
is either my number 1 or 2.
The comments in the chat.
Nikki said the cunty elves edits on TikTok. I don't know what
see you
that
next
means.
Tuesday kind of elves.
I mean, there are some edits on TikTok that really go for it. Star Wars, though, I am a notable Star Wars fan. Okay,
talk your shit, brother.
We just had May the 4th, so there's a relevancy, like a recency bias here. But I mean, I don't know. This is definitely 1 or 2. I feel like Star Wars.
I would also put it there. And this is not just somebody as a fan. The reason why I put it 1 or 2 is the iconicness of it all.
Yeah.
Like you said, there are baseball teams that trot out a Darth Vader to like take pictures with fans. Like
that's a good point.
It's transcended into other, not just like visual media, movies, TV shows, but other forms of entertainment. Like I think this is just in terms of impact. Roman said in the chat, people have Star Wars themed themed weddings. It has to be like 1 or 2. Here's the thing, I don't know what I would put above it, so that's why I'm leaning more towards 1.
I mean, you talk about Disney theme parks, going to get a lightsaber, building a lightsaber. You can't do things like that without it having some type of impact. I think Star Wars is number 1 for me because even with the MCU, even with I don't even know what the fuck else is on this list, it's hard to beat Star Wars.
It is. It's very
Nikki said, it's high up there, I fear.
It is.
I mean, obviously it's number 1 for me, and I am trying to like parse through this, but I do feel like
1 for me, brother.
Brian, slap it at number 1.
All right.
That's where it goes.
I appreciate you trying to be unbiased.
I appreciate your willingness to be unbiased.
No problem. That's why I didn't speak up a ton here. You all know how I feel, but I feel like this makes sense. I feel like it makes sense. The next franchise we have is Back to the Future. So
can I say where like my knee jerk is to go? Like if someone were to say gun to your head, where do you put it? I put it at 9. Here's
I
the
was
reason
thinking
why
10.
here's the reason why I
10.
put it at 9. The story has been taken and put into just about everything else.
I agree.
They have taken that like Back to the Future plot, and they have like there's a Family Guy, there's a Simpsons, there's like it is referenced all the time.
Yeah.
And not just in like episodes that cover it, but like the pieces itself. I also think that so that's where I think like, but I'm putting it there because of its story, not because of the trilogy itself.
I think you get things like the Nike shoes, the DeLorean, the outfit, the skateboard. Like there's a lot of iconic things, Jaws, whatever it was.
They made a DeLorean. Like they started making DeLoreans again because of its popularity from the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. However, mine is at a 10 because I don't see it.
Fair.
I don't think it had the longevity that we were hoping. The rest of the films on here that we've got so far are at least making attempts to bring the franchise back. I know that maybe this is like an untouchable, like, oh, out of respect, we don't want to remake. But that also plays a part in its like notability a little bit.
Man, it'd be hilarious if they did it in 2040 and they went back to 2000.
That honestly,
I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Put it with like Tom Holland. He's my go-to white guy that can play the role. But like put it with like Tom Holland. And
I'm mad this doesn't exist now.
And Paul Rudd is your Doc Brown.
Oh, that would actually be
a chill
hilarious.
Doc Brown too.
Yeah. That would actually
I
really
want
funny.
this movie now.
Marcus, it feels weird to bicker over 9 and 10. 10's fine with me.
Yeah,
I could have gone either way.
I'm good with 10. I think it's a solid franchise. It's enjoyable, but I don't think it's going to be up in the top half. I don't, and the only other option is 12 right now, and I don't think 12 is for Back to the Future.
That's
I just don't
fair,
see it,
Mason. That is very fair.
Mason
Mason says, I hope Final Destination is on the list. The second movie made driving on the highway and interstate very hard.
I will manage expectations. Final Destination did not make the list. It does get an honorable mention, though. I'm glad you brought up Final Destination. It traumatized an entire generation of people for driving behind log trucks.
It didn't traumatize me because I haven't seen a single one. Boom.
Oh, I'm adding it to the list.
Boom, bitch.
We're gonna have to subpoena this dude because this is ridiculous.
I mean,
I've been going six years.
I am well aware of the cultural impact of driving behind the truck because I have seen it. I have seen that scene, and I can tell you where it's from. But if you ask me to tell you literally anything else that happens in that movie, I'd be like, I don't know.
Good for you. There's a new Final Destination coming out. Now we gotta watch it.
Well, I started Mission Impossible 3 and I made it halfway through, and then
man,
so
that's
next week, isn't it? Yeah,
it is.
I gotta watch that. Yeah.
Yep, our Mission Impossible discussion next week for anybody following along at home.
Good, I have time to finish it.
You got plenty. You got a whole week. All right, our next franchise, Marvel Studios, the MCU, recent Thunderbolts enjoyer, Marvel Studios.
It can't be 12 and it can't be 9.
I mean,
6 feels disrespectful and 2 feels like the right answer. This is
cruising to 2. I mean, this is the one jockeying with Star Wars here.
Yep. It's the one new fans know and old fans know because they did really well in intermingling Blade and Elektra and bringing these full circle moments. And while continuing the story, it's hard not to put this shit at 2.
I will say this. Yeah. I do think it needs to be acknowledged. I think for me, if I'm trying to take my own bias out of it, and we're trying to take it out of if we're trying to take it from the perspective of its impact on the culture, y'all, the news talks about when it flops.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's true.
Not every movie gets the headline of latest Marvel project doesn't do well.
Yeah,
these do. And I think that says something about the franchise when it is a cultural discussion point as to whether or not it's being successful in meeting fan expectations.
Well, let's back it up a little bit. Let's talk about how they have conditioned us to stay after a movie is over.
Great point.
Like that was already happening. After credit scenes existed prior to MCU, But now you look at people like with a weird eye when somebody's walking out of the theater when the MCU credits roll.
There are whole news articles, like there are tons of Google searches that say,
"Oh my god,
does XYZ movie have a post-credit scene?" So like I think that is a great point. This says nothing, because here's the other thing I want to acknowledge. All of these movies have hits and misses. Star Wars, see Solo, like that. That is the like every single one of these has a criminal record in some way, shape, or form.
They do,
and so they're not all winners because they can't all be winners. But
like, episode 9, we don't need to rehash it. So that was the example I was going to use.
But yeah, I agree. Two makes sense.
All right, we're gonna lock into
what's left. Oh my god, 3 movies left.
There's
also
some fun
very
ones
good
here. So Mission Impossible, Impossible showing up here.
I mean,
yeah.
Would you like my opinion on 1.5 of 3?
Oh, God.
Well, the positions left are 6, 9, and 12.
I feel like 9
I'll vote with the majority on this one.
I want to. My heart says 6 because I do love the Mission Impossible series, and there's 8 movies, and it's what Tom Cruise has kind of built.
Yeah,
it's built into his legacy of these Mission Impossible movies. However, when he's done, and there are no more Mission Impossible movies, and he decides to stop, can you make more Mission Impossible movies without him?
Because like this is the Tom Cruise stunt hour. The Mission Impossible has turned into this.
His last movie, I think, is just him dying in the middle of a stunt, and they're like
in the middle of a stunt, like,
and they'll just roll the credits, and they'll be like the last scene will be a title card that says,
and look,
"Yep, he finally
I love
did
the
it."
Tom Cruise stunt hour. I'm not complaining about that, but like Mission Impossible as a franchise is loosely connected by stunt, like with narrative between stunt sequences. And that's fine. But when we talk about like cultural impact, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to say it. I think this could be 12.
Oh, I don't think it's that low.
I'm willing to say this could be 12 because, yes, you say Mission Impossible and people will be like, the Tom Cruise thing.
My criteria go ahead, Brad.
No, just like, we don't have like Mission Impossible shoes, or like people aren't like, oh, better not Ethan Hunt this. Does anyone know the main character of Mission Impossible if you were to say that name?
That's a good point. Okay, can I fight back? I'm gonna fight back.
Go ahead.
There are iconic things from Mission Impossible that, whether people know it or not, is from Mission Impossible culturally.
Okay.
So like the scene with him with the knife falling and doing the boom, 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 boom.
Sure.
Boom. This is your mission if you choose to accept it. This thing will self-destruct in like a certain amount of time. Like there are the face mask thing. People know the references, I think, for Mission Impossible. However, when you talk about the main characters' names and their relationships, I do think that it is easily forgettable because of everything else that's fucking happening.
Well, and Marcus, if I may use your words, if I don't know that it's from the thing that it's from, is it really have an impact?
Yeah, but what about the
great, that's
the
song. But if you're saying I'm watching another piece of media and it makes a Mission Impossible reference, and I go, "What's that from? I don't know it," then I would say, yeah, it belongs at 12.
Well, I don't think it. Not. I think. Well, I can't fight back because it's majority rule. I feel like 9. I would prefer. We should have put Star Trek or 007 lower, because I do think
can't go
it's
back
more
in
than
time.
that, but you can't go back in time.
I mean, the 007 Star Trek at 7 and 8, it does feel weird now, but Mission 6 feels way too high. I can get to 9. I can get to 9, but like,
Brian, can you see what's left?
Can I without?
Oh no, just asking. Like, do you know what's coming up next?
I do, but I forgot.
Look, I'm gonna double down. I think it should be 12.
Okay, Nikki said 12 in the chat.
All right. Well,
I will be brave. I know my friend loves this, but I also
Thomas,
you're sorry.
Thomas,
we're gonna put
I'm
you
on
at
your
12.
side, brother.
We're gonna put you at 12.
Ooh, that hurts.
So Mission Impossible ranked 12th, but the next one is the WBDC universe.
Okay, wait a minute. This is WBDC specific?
This is
up until this point.
I mean, like, this is all of the DC movies under the WB banner. Like,
does that include Christopher Reeves?
Yeah, it should.
Like
that was my intention. That is my intention.
Okay. This got to be 6. Don't play with me. Don't fuck with me. No, this has to be 6.
There's one
and high. It should be higher.
There's one more. There's one more coming that I think belongs higher than this.
Oh my
god. So honestly, I don't recall what the next one is. Like, genuinely,
if the next, I am going to make a bet that I think I know the next one coming. I don't disagree. This should be higher. I would move some of these other fuckers around so that this can get higher, but I can't go back in time. Like, so I'm
sorry. The comments have me laughing so
Nikki
much
is
right
going,
now. I'm so
Nikki
sorry.
is keeping it real today. Nikki said, never seen the movies, but Tom Cruise is filth slop.
By the way, if that's what we're talking about, people who are problematic, if that's the phrase, tattoo it on my body. That's amazing.
Filth slop.
Yeah, filth slop.
Hashtag filth slop.
Of filth slop.
That'll be the name of the episode. Filth slop.
Okay. I will trust 6. 6 makes
all right.
What we have left, 6 makes sense for this. We're gonna be kicking ourselves when we get to 9, though.
No way. Here's the thing. I have no problem putting the DC movies ahead of Star Trek and 007.
Oh, I have no problem with that either.
Absolutely no problem with that. They definitely have way more cultural cachet to me, like, than Star Trek or 007. Like,
Batman, Superman, like,
that's your argument.
That's and Nikki, you've got a good point too. She said this might be controversial, but the first Wonder Woman movie with
it
is kind of a banger, and that's true.
It's Hope Corps. Yeah, it is. I mean, no, that movie is like a serotonin injection straight into your body. All right,
and you got to remember, this is before the Snyder era too. Like, we're talking everything.
I mean, this encompasses everything.
Hold on. Right. We cannot separate shit out.
No. Like, I'm saying, because I think a lot of people see WB and DC. That's why I asked are we talking Dark Knight, just Whedon's Justice League?
I'm putting this everything.
Yeah, this is everything, which is why I think it has to be there.
Yeah.
It has to be there.
Yeah, this includes Whedon and Snyder and everybody else's.
This is
flaws.
everybody. This is everybody, and James Gunn.
Warts and all.
It's everybody. So all right, 6. We're locking in at 6. The last franchise.
Fucking knew it. I fucking knew it, and this is why I told you we can't do this, because I would rank Harry Potter higher. My bet. Don't ever anyone question me ever, because I am fucking right majority of the time. But put it at 9, because that's where it goes.
I have no problem putting this at 9.
I have no
problem with it at 9.
First of all, the problem with the list is Star Trek and 007 got put way too high.
Star Trek and 007
that threw off the rest.
At 7 and
they
8.
Don't need to be at 7 and 8. And that's fine. 9 is definitely too low for Harry Potter. I will agree with you.
There are 2 theme parks for this fucking franchise.
What do you replace in the top 5 though? If it's clearly top 5, right? So what are you kicking out of the top 5? Is it Jurassic Park?
Would probably.
It would have to be. It would have to be Jurassic. Okay, if you're going
to be honest with you,
4,
in terms of cultural impact, I would put Harry Potter at 4 and bump the rest of them down.
Oh, Brian, go back up. You said put Harry.
Harry Potter at 4. Bump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings at 5.
Mason,
that makes sense.
Mason, what?
I say
that's the death spell, Harry Potter fan.
So I mean, if I'm redoing this, Star Wars, Marvel, Disney all stay. Harry Potter goes to 4, Lord of the Rings goes to 5, Jurassic Park to 6, WB to 7.
I mean, honestly, Harry Potter's the only egregious error here. That's
Nikki. Oh, you are not wrong. Or if she realized that maybe what she would say, she should just shut the fuck up.
Nikki says, "Imagine how much better Harry Potter would be if I didn't read it before."
Oh, I'll read it. I'll read it out loud. I will read it aloud for all to hear. Imagine how much better Harry Potter would be if the author died shortly after releasing her work. You guys, she's a problem.
She is.
She's a problem.
Not
Nikki, the author of Harry Potter.
I don't
Nikki's
agree
a
with
lovely human
the
being.
author of Harry Potter's.
Yeah,
she's a menace.
At all.
The 7 and 8 of Star Trek and 007 really
Brian doing the Lord's work trying to keep us on task.
Messed us up here. Look, we all know she's problematic. She's very problematic. But yeah, I feel good about Mission Impossible at 12 because
I do too.
Otherwise, WBDC would have been that would have got real gnarly. I mean,
I think that 7, 8, and 12 are interchangeable, and it just depends on the day and who's directing and who the lead is, and that is a lot of heavy lifting for franchises to do. But actually, Fast and Furious 2 is forced upon us. We have not seen another version of Fast and Furious. No. It could be 12. It should be 12.
Also, if Fast and the Furious left yesterday, if Fast and the Furious leaves tomorrow, no one's gonna be like, what happened to Fast and Furious? No one's gonna give a shit.
And you want to know why it's kind of crazy too? Because Fast and the Furious, and this is not a bad thing, but Fast and the Furious is it's at that point where it's being teased to collaborate with Transformers and other things in order to make it something. And
never watch another one.
I think the thing about it is if we're talking about quality of franchises, I think the reason that Star Wars and Marvel and Lord of the Rings are in this top discussion is because there's something new, at least in every entry, and they're not all bangers. They're not, but there's something new and there's something advancing the story, even if it's only entertaining. And Fast and Furious gets to this point where it's just what exactly am I watching right now?
Watching family, Brian.
Family with Coronas. I understand there's fast cars and we got to stop the bad guy, but I don't even remember what happened in the last movie. And guess what? You don't need to.
I know it was hinted that Dom might have died.
Yes,
he might be dead. Him and his son?
Question mark?
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're not dead, but yeah. Oh, and a bunch of the supporting characters went down in a plane.
Oh yeah, I forgot
that happened.
Yeah. I think the other thing that's interesting to note is that the dynamic of movies over time, the pressure on franchises has really grown.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh,
so Star Wars established itself as a reliable, quality franchise that had staying power well before the studio machine felt the pressure to keep churning that shit out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I agree.
It's important to note, and same thing for Star Trek, same thing for 007, same thing for Lord of the Rings. Those all existed in a space where it was Peter Jackson wants to take a risk and make 3 movies that are 3 hours that tell the stories of the hobbits destroying a ring.
Yep. Good point.
We don't give a shit. However, Marvel and DC, the expectations are different.
I agree.
They have to be something that you can build off of.
I love that.
And so they're a little bit they are a little bit
Great
different in how they function.
It's the game versus the love of the game.
100%.
You used to be able to make. I mean, Doug worded that phenomenally. You used to be able to make art for the sake of I'm a lover of this franchise, and that's why I want to write this really good script. Now it seems like you pick a director that had successes to then try to hop on a franchise to fix it.
Yeah, Back to the Future was an original story.
Yeah.
So
even the 007 movies were all from original books.
Yeah.
And, it was the same guy and the same idea, but
Ian
there is
Fleming.
a charm. There is a charm to the idea that they kept churning out movies of what if he went to the bayou? What if he went to space? There is a charm there where the pressure wasn't this has to make $300 million opening weekend or else we all lose our jobs, which is what it feels like Marvel is at this point.
And I would say most of them are, right?
I mean, where DC was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes.
There's a reason why Harry Potter's getting rebooted. It's because they want that franchise to turn in money again. Like you don't have that conversation of like, but what if it was a TV show? Unless you want it to like have it make money. 007 is interesting because that is a time when actors signed deals not for movies but with studios.
Right.
And so what more than likely happened is, and I could look it up and tell you whether it's true or not, but if I'm a betting man, I know I'm right. It's that Sean Connery signed a deal with MGM to do however many movies MGM said that he had to do, and they were all like, they were like, oh, they're all 007 movies, so they're a little bit different.
So before we start wrapping up the pod, for everybody that stayed with us, I'll do the final rankings here. Number 12 was Mission Impossible. Number 11, Fast and Furious. 10, Back to the Future. 9, Harry Potter. 8, 007. 7, Star Trek. 6, the DC movies. 5, Jurassic Park. 4, Lord of the Rings. 3, Walt Disney Animation. 2, Marvel Studios. And number 1 is Star Wars. So thanks for everybody listening and playing along. This was a ton of fun.
And I think what we'll also do is, if you like caught this and you want to weigh in with where you ranked them, we'll post these to our socials, comment and let us know where we got it wrong or how you would do it different.
Yeah,
I think that's a great way to get.
I think that's perfect.
Provide some feedback. So
that'll be on our socials. So
don't be mad at us anyway.
Wait for the comments there. I'm sure the U.S. agent supporters will find it and give us an opinion.
Jesus.
So
yeah, I'm gonna start blocking y'all asses.
Y'all, let's bring this thing home.
Let's do it.
What do you all have to plug this week?
Hey, folks, you should head over to thelovenerds.com. That is my wife's lifestyle blog where she puts all of her things there. You'll have a link to the etsy.com/shop/thelovenerds where she's selling all kinds of designs and prints. You can go check them out. Thelovenerds.com.
Absolutely. Marcus, what do you got?
Make sure you follow the mantra, never offended, always humble, or NOAH. New music is on the way, coming very soon. We're waiting for the final mix to come in, and then my next single, Big Texas, will be coming out. A hint plug about Big Texas. Big Texas is going to be like a little bit of a two-parter. The first project you're going to get is going to be Big Texas, where it's just raps, vibes, energy, like it's a soundtrack to Big Texas. And then the second project you'll get later on, probably next year, is called The Mocha Cowboy, which they're more vibey, slow songs, like the romantic side. So you'll get a two-part. It's all going to be a well thought out process, but we want to make sure it sounds good. But either way, make sure you follow the mantra, never offended, always humble. Go listen to some Soul Tie, SOULTYE, and just follow the mantra, baby.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed our conversation about movie franchises, AOL, Superman, really anything that we talked about today, because we talked about a lot. If you enjoy any of those conversations, recommend us to a friend or a family member. Best way that we get some traction is by recommendations from you all, our listeners. If you're feeling generous, want to head over to patreon.com/films in black and white. Sign up for one of our tiers there. Would love to have you a part of the Patty family. Help us make the things that you love. Help us make it. That would be great. Gentlemen, we have a 3-step process to success. What is that first step, Brian?
Hey, folks, make sure to read a book. Be an interesting person. Read a book. Did you know that most people don't read? That like a majority of people, at least in the US, don't read? You can not be one of those people. Read a book.
That's rough. Yeah, I did not know that, and that bothers me.
Yeah,
our second step, hey, drink some water. Yo, it was hot today. Like if you were in Verm, it was hot. So we're getting into summer season. Stay hydrated. Don't get sick. We want you to stay hydrated. It's good for you. And treat yourself to the nice water, whether that be a bubbler, a Voss, or just, whatever it might be. Treat yourself to the nice water.
And for the last step, before you treat yourself to that delicious flavor of bubbler, make sure you wash your ass. All right. You can't get a bubbler until you wash your ass. That's the reward for doing the job you're supposed to be doing. All right. So get your new towels. It's the summertime, spring cleaning, summer cleaning. Get new towels, throw away the ones that got bullet holes in them, and make sure you wash your ass.
What fights are you leading?
Who is shooting your towels?
Nobody's shooting them. You just had them for so long. They're just like, they get holes in them. And it's like, just throw the damn towels away.
I would love it if that was the motivation for drive-bys, though. Like, that guy's got nice towels. Bop, bop, bop. Anyway, we will be back next week to talk Mission Impossible. We all had our assignments.
Yes.
We all chose to accept them.
We will all be talking about a different Mission Impossible movie.
We will. I'm going to talk.
I forgot what mine was.
Mission Impossible 3.
Don't worry, I have it written down.
I have
the
Mission
podcast.
Impossible 3,
Thanks,
and I
Thanks for
watched.
joining, Nikki.
So I'm on it. But we'll do that next week. But in the meantime and in the between time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next week.